Hello everyone and welcome back to the UPSC journey. My name is Babita and in today's session we are going to cover the complete Hindu analysis for the 5th of May. This session is going to helpful for your prelims, for your mains and for your all over UPSC journey. And after the completion of this session, you can download the PDF of this session from our Telegram channel and the link you will find in the description box. So we'll start with our first article that is regarding that Supreme Court brings survivors of forcible ingestion of acid into Rights of Person with Disability Act of 2016. So what is the whole context? That the government actually can declare any kind of disability into the Rights of Person with Disability Act. So Supreme Court is providing suggestions to the central government that forcible ingestion of acid should be included to the Rights of Person with Disability Act of 2016 because till now the only acid attacks victims are included under this Person with Disability Act, means the forcible ingestion of acid is not included in the Rights of Person with Disability Act. Now the Supreme Court is providing suggestions to the government that forcible ingestion means if somebody is forcing you to swallow that acid or somebody is forcing the victim to gulp that or swell that acid, it should also be considered under the Rights of Person with Disability Act. Now, the most important thing that authority to include or to notify any type of disability rests with central government, means the central government has the power, has the authority that it can include any action as a punishable action in the Rights of Person with Disability Act, and accordingly aid can be provided, assistance or a justice can be provided to the survivor. So first of all, previously there was only 7 types of disability which were included into this Rights of Person with Disability Act. Now this disability are increased from 7 to 21. So current there are 21 type of disabilities which are included in this Rights of Person with Disability Act. So first fact is that till now there are 21 type of disabilities which are included in the Rights of Person with Disability Act. Central government is a sole authority which can notify to a new type of disability into the act. And that's why the Supreme Court is asking or providing suggestions to the government to include forcible ingestion. Means if somebody is forcing the victim to swell or to engulf that acid, should also be included under the Rights of Person with Disability Act, so that the person can be provided benefit according to this act. And in this act, there has been from 10 years of life imprisonment. I mean, there is a 10 years and life imprisonment. There will be there the person who performed this kind of activities, means there is a punishment of 10 years to life sentence is a punish according to this article. Now forcible acid ingestion to claim disability, means this is Supreme Court is saying to include in the article to add in the act, so that forcible ingestion acid victims can claim the disability benefit under the act. So this was whole scenario that government should include this forcible ingestion acid into the Rights of Person with Disability so that the benefit can be provided. Next, this is one suggestion from the Supreme Court side. Till the time the Supreme Court has power according to Article 142, which provide Supreme Court that it can flex its power under Article 142, which say that 142 include that not only the person whom acid was thrown about, also who has suffered the extreme agony of having a forcible ingestion is also a category of acid victim survivor. Means the person who has also gone through the agony, the pain, the suffering of acid attack is Plus, the forcible ingestion should also be included into Rights of Person with Disability Act. So this was whole context. So we have seen that why it is in news, that forcible ingestion should also be included to the Person with Disability Act. Now, 2016 law only recognize acid throwing, means it only recognize acid throwing, not forcible ingestion of acid. It does not include forcible ingestion. Now the Supreme Court is asking or providing suggestions to the government to include forcible ingestion under this act, so that a relief can be provided to the victims, relief can be provided to the survivors. In this, there is from punishment from 10 years to life sentence under section 142 of the article. Under article 142 of Act 2016, 10 years and life sentence can be given to the. Second, the recognition would aim, now this recognition will aid victims of forcible acid ingestion to claim disability benefit under the Act. Now, Article 142 provide a discretionary power to Supreme Court. That will provide a discretionary power, and it's very important article that it provide a power to the Supreme Court that without such degree and without any order, like if there is no law, there is law formation and there is nothing, the Supreme Court by itself, by suo motu decision, can pass any degree or any necessary order to bring complete justice in such matters. Means it provide a discretionary power to the Supreme Court to do a complete justice in such matters. The Rights of Person with Disability Act was passed, like this act was passed after the Parliament of India has given ratification to United Nations Convention of Rights of Person with Disability Act. This is one convention of United Nations which government ratified in 2007. In 2007, India ratified this convention, and after that, after signing this convention, the Rights of Person with Disability Act came into force. So important point is that when India ratified the Convention on Rights of Person with Disability Act was 2007, and after that the Rights of Person with Disability Act 2016 came into force. So this was whole context. Let's move to the next article. This next article is regarding Child Right Panel seeks faster trial in Pune rape murder case. We all know about this case. About this, we know whole context behind this Pune rape murder case, but the main context regarding to your exam is POCSO Act. Means how this POCSO Act is acted in such cases, how the national commissions are going to help the minor in such cases. National Commission for Protection of Child Right is going to help the minor, and how this trial should be governed according to the POCSO Act. So why what is in news that State Maharashtra Commission, wait a minute. State Maharashtra Commission ordered for the appointment of special public prosecutor in the rape and the murder of a 4-year-old girl. The case has been registered. Now, the girl was 4-year-old, means the case is registered under the Protection of Child from Sexual Offences under POCSO Act 2012. POCSO Act, which deal with the protection of children below the age of 18. Means if any crime is committed against a minor, then that case will be registered according to POCSO Act of 2012. So this case has been also registered under POCSO Act 2012, which provide a protection to the children who are under age 18. And this act provide like safeguard from the offenses like assault, if there any physical assault, if there is an harassment, pornography, and even storing pornographic material is also a punishable offense under POCSO Act of 2012. Even you are storing, like if you are not committing any violence, if you are not harassing sexually to any minor, but even if you are storing any pornographic material, that also include a punishable offense under POCSO Act of 2012. Note, this is very important, that it criminalize all the sexual activities for those who are under the age of 18. Means it criminalize all the sexual activities. Please make note of this, that it include all sexual activities under the age of 18, even if the consent was factually present between the two minors. Let's suppose there are two minors who say that we have done all this by your mutual consent. Then consent will not be considered if they are under the age of 18. Means there will be no consent granted, or there will be no consent factually present between the two minors. If they say that we have like given our consent, then this will also not accepted. Means even if a minor is less than 18, the consent will declare as a invalid or a void. If a minor, like minor can be a boy or can be a girl. So if a minor boy or girl gives a consent also, that will also not consider. That will also consider as a invalid and void. Means all it include all the sexual activities. So it can be asked that it include sexual activities, but if the consent is there, then it will not be included. No, if the consent is also given, then it will also not included. It will also not include, it will also not be considered as a valid statement, or it will consider as a sexual offense under the POCSO Act of 2012. So this was whole context. Now, because of that, because the girl child was a minor, we have a National Commission for Protection of Child Rights. We have a National Commission that take care of the child's right in India. It established in 2007 under the Article 2005 Act, Protection of Child Rights. It work under the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and it promote, defend children's rights in India. Correct? It promote the child rights in India. About its jurisdiction, it cover all the children means either boy or a girl or any third gender. It include all up to the age of 18. Means who are minor, who are less than age of 18, the jurisdiction come under National Commission for Protection of Child Right. Now it is an advisory and monitoring body. Means if it can be asked that it's a constitutional body who provide legal framework or provide protection to the child rights in India, and it's a constitutional body. No, it's an advisory and a monitoring body. Means the decision of protection of human rights child commission is not binding. It's advisory in nature, and it's a monitoring body who usually monitor, protects, and promote the child rights in India. So it's a monitoring and advisory body in India. Very important. It promotes the implementation of protection of children from sexual offences. POCSO Act means after this monitoring and this advisory body help to implement the protection of child from sexual offences, POCSO Act 2012. Now the very important that this National Commission for Protection of Child Right consists one chairman. Composition is that one chairman, 6 members, and 2 women's. So this is a composition of National Commission for Protection of Child Right, that there should be one chairman, there should be 6 members, and there should be a 2 women mandatory in the panel. 2 women's presence should be mandatory in the protection of child rights. So this was whole context that how POCSO came into existence, and if the minor is and if a victim is a minor, the case will be registered according to POCSO Act, and how this POCSO Act is going to deal with minor cases. Like POCSO Act generally always deal with the minor cases, and this POCSO is going to like change. Yeah, so this POCSO deal with the cases of less than 18 years, and after that we have seen that how National Commission for Protection of Child Right came into picture, and how this is going to change the whole scenario for that 4-year rape victim girl. And it's advisory in nature, it's monitoring in nature, and the composition, one chairman, 6 members, and 2 women's presence is mandatory. Now let's do a recap question regarding this. Which of the following statement regarding National Commission for Protection of Child Right is correct? It's a constitutional body. Is it so? No, it's not a constitutional body. No, it's not a constitutional body. It's only an advisory body and it does not provide any binding resolutions. It's responsible to ensure that laws and policies align with children's perspective. Yes, it work according or it work on the policies that align, that are favorable for the children's right. Correct. Third, it ensure direction that are binding on the concerned person or authorities. No, the directions are not binding. It's advisory in nature. Means the decision of National Commission for Protection of Child Right is not binding, is not constitutional. It only ally or with the policies that are according to the children's rights. So this is only correct statement. So we have only two is a correct answer. Next we have which of the following statement is our correct? National Commission for Protection of Child Right work under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Yes, correct. It work under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. At least two members of National Commission for Protection of Child Right must be women. Yes, we have seen this. Look, we have seen that at least two women should be there. Means mandatory two women should be there and it work under the Ministry of Women and Child Development. So correct. And the third, this commission has quasi-judicial power to enforce its recommendation. No, it's not a quasi-judicial. It's only advisory in nature. Means it has no power to enforce its recommendation. So we know that its answer is only 1 and 2. Means it's an advisory in nature and there is no power to enforce its recommendation. It work under Ministry of Women and Child Development. There should be two women in the panel. So this was National Commission for Protection of Child Right. Next, move to the next article. Supreme Court weighed risk of misuse of benefit of trans people. Like the Supreme Court has raised a concern that there is a misuse of Transgenders Persons Protection Act 2026. The government is actually asking to inquire, like in the previous act. Here we can see in the Transgender Act, Person of Protection of Rights Act 2019. It was like the person has right to self-identify, like the person can self-identify and grant the rights of self-perceived gender identity. Like in 2019 act, it was a right to the person that the person can self-identify as a transgender and without any medical examination. So this was context that according to this act, the person can identify as a itself like identify as a transgender without any medical examination. But without this medical examination, there is a risk of misuse of benefit for the for the transgender peoples. We know that a government provide multiple benefit like reservation, like free transportation, allocation of seats in our education system. Reservation is there, means relaxation in the app, like applying for any form. So government provide this kind of benefits to the transgender peoples. And if there is no medical check on this, if there is no check on this, like the person will by itself can declare, then there will be a risk of misuse of this benefits. So this was whole context. Now in the amended article, the Transgender Person Protection of Rights Amendment Act 2016, government made it that requirement of a government appointed medical board advice is necessary. Means if a person who find itself a transgender, then it required a medical board favorable recommendation. If a person find itself as a part of transgender community, then he or she requires a medical board favorable recommendation plus a district magistrate to certify individual as a transgender person. Means there should be a medical board who will examine the person and then a district magistrate will rectify the person as a transgender person. Now, the revised definition defines that transgender person are those who with the social cultural identities, means who identify himself or herself as a Kinnar, Hijra, Aravani, Jogta as a biological variations. This include all kind of this identities. Now, the National Legal Services Authority, means NALSA, means there was a case in 2014 where NALSA versus Union of India. In this case, the judgment explicitly recognized transgender as a third gender. Means this this judgment officially recognized transgender person as a third gender and provided them a right of self-identification of gender. So this was whole context that how was the Transgender Person Protection Act of 2019 allow them a freedom to rights of self-identification, but now because of this misuse of this misuse of this act, government is trying to make it abound with medical board examinations so that there should be proper use of this act. There should be proper benefit can be given to this community, and there should be no loopholes in the system. So that's why government or the Supreme Court is putting pressure to include a medical board in this for a verification that the individual is a transgender person. So this was whole context. Next, move to a Simbex exercise like phase 2 2016, the second edition of India Cambodia bilateral military exercise. So this is a military exercise between India and Cambodia, and this is the second phase of Simbex exercise India plus Cambodia Simbex 2026 for countering terrorism and UN peacekeeping. Means to have a peace and for countering terrorism. So this was a whole news about like this is for your prelims perspective. Simbex exercise 2026, the second edition of India Cambodia bilateral exercise for UN for countering terrorism and UN peacekeeping. Next, we move to like this is one of the hottest topic of current affair. We have all seen that Nepal has shown an objection to Mansarovar Yatra by Lipu Lake because Nepal is possessing their territorial right. Nepal is possessing territorial right over the Lipu Lake Pass. The Nepal is saying that it's Lipu Lake is part of their territory, and that's why saying that Mansarovar Yatra through this is causing violation of their sovereignty. So this is whole context that Nepal has officially objected India-China plan to conduct Kailash Mansarovar Yatra by Lipu Lake Pass. So there are officially two passes which through Yatra conducted. First is Lipu Lake Pass is in Uttarakhand. This is the oldest route but has been a center of recent territorial dispute with Nepal. We have seen in the past time that Nepal has shown Lipu Lake as their territory in their new currency or in their new map. So after that, like the first is Lipu Pass, sorry, that is in Uttarakhand, and the second pass is Nathula Pass, which is in Sikkim, and it's a motorable alternative. And this route is more longer. Means the Lipu Lake Pass is a shorter route, where the Nathula Pass is a longer journey through Himalayan terrain. But now the time the Nepal is saying that claiming to the route will violate its sovereignty. So this was whole context. Now there's an eligibility criteria restricted to Indian citizens that who are person above 18 to 70 year old with a valid Indian passport. In the overseas citizen card holders and foreign nationals are not eligible for this because like for only Indian citizens. So it can be asked that all the citizens are allowed for this yatra. No, only Indian citizens from age 18 to 17-year-old with valid Indian passport are allowed for this yatra. Second, the overseas citizen card holder and the foreign nationals are not eligible for this yatra. So if you like see this, This is Lippu Lake Pass. From this route is a shorter route to the Mount Kailash, and if and Nepal is claiming the territorial right over this Lippu Lake Pass, and the second route is Nathula Pass, and from Nathula Pass we have to cover this much route with the tough terrain of Himalaya. So this was whole context that for this moment, India and China are planning to conduct this, but Nepal is claiming their territorial rights and claiming that it will violate its sovereignty. So this was whole context about this. Um, so this is all about today's session. I hope you guys like the session. For PDF, you can download it from our Telegram channel, and the Telegram channel link you will find in the description box. Thank you so much, everyone. मिलते हैं कल के सेशन में. Bye bye. Thank you so much.